Hi everyone. Okay, I went live just a little bit early because I want to make sure that it all works because I was having issues. I was trying to do it from a laptop and it wasn't wanting to cooperate, so I want to make sure that we're good to go. So I'm on my phone. Okay, I see us. Okay. Hi. I'm Jaime Pilchner, Superstar Director from East Texas, and I'm here to talk to y'all a little bit tonight about something I'm pretty passionate about, and it's good customer care, good customer service, taking care of our people that we love so much and appreciate. But first, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. I am, like I said, Superstar Director Jaime Pilchner. I am from a small town in East Texas. I'm like 2.5 hours northeast of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Population less than 5,000. It's just a small little town that it's the only place I've ever lived other than where I grew up, which was just about 30 minutes down the road. I love it here, and I raised my family here. When I joined Cincy, my children were 7, 4, 2, and 8 months. And that this October, that will be 20 years ago. So they're all adults now. All 4 of my children are officially in their 20s, and that's kind of weird. That's kind of weird to me to think that they're all adults now, but it's exciting. I also have 3 granddaughters right now. My oldest and his wife have 2. My daughter has 1. My third in the lineup, my second son, he is getting married later this year. And then my youngest son is serving a mission, and he will finish up this fall. So, like I said, all 4 of my children are adults. And I'm bringing that up multiple times because it is the reason I chose Cincy. It is the reason that it worked for me. It's the reason that I will never give up on Cincy. It's a reason while I will continue to, because it is allowing me to still be with my grandbabies, present with my grandbabies. And that's why I choose this, because Cincy allows me to choose. And I think that's the best thing about this business. We're really close to being empty nesters. Technically, I guess you could call us empty nesters. But our third Jake that's getting married this fall, he still lives at home, but we rarely see him. But it's just a new season of life, and I personally love it. I didn't think I could love a season more than when I was running my kids all over the place, but this, being adults with my children, is a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and like I said, love spoiling my grandbabies. It's my whole life. I'm going to jump right into what I wanted to talk about tonight. As long as y'all can hear me okay, I'm going to just jump right into our topic, because I know I started a little early, but like I said, I wanted to make sure everything was working. Here's a little thing to note about me. I'm very nervous. Yes, I have been selling Cincy for 20 years, but public speaking is not my strength, and I'm very nervous. So if I stumble over my words, please be patient. If I say a lot, please forgive me. I'm working on it. I do have my notes because I am not awesome and can just go willy-nilly. I have to have agenda and notes and all the things. So thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for showing up for this community. This community is everything. And if you're a part of Cincy, you know why it's so special, right? And like I said, I'm talking about customer care, customer service tonight. So I'm going to ask you a question. Feel free to drop it in the comments if you want. I'm not going to call on anybody or anything, but when you go shopping, or there's a brand or a store, what makes you go back to a business again and again? I'll give you a little story for me. There is a certain restaurant that I really love here locally, and it's great. But I really love this one particular waitress because she is on top of it. She's on top of, we never have to wait on our chips and hot sauce. She's right there. She knows our orders. We don't even have to read the menu. She brings us our drinks before we hardly ever even sit down. Like, I love it. And I want to ask for her every time because she's so good at what she does. And she remembers me and my husband. It's rarely the product, or sometimes it is, that is what makes you feel so good about a certain thing. It's usually the people. It's the waitress. It's the checkout girl. It's the person taking your order. It's the person changing your tire. It's good service. It's them looking you in the eye, acknowledging that you're there. And as we all know, in customer service, there's things that go wrong a lot. And a lot can be said about those who handle that and approach it in a kind manner. There are people who ignore it or never address it. I've sat in waiting rooms forever and never, I realize that sometimes things happen and you're not going to be super on time. I get it. But for them to just never acknowledge that you had to wait an extra 45 minutes before they even saw you, come on, acknowledge it. Just say, I'm sorry. Good customer care is connection and consistency. Okay, I'm going to hope that I can read my handwriting. People buy and shop with those they trust. And I think if you've been in Cincy even for just a little bit, you would know that there are certain people that trust you. I have people who all the time, just recently, I had a customer who said, I need 6 velvet cashmere woods after it was discontinued. And I said, okay, we got a problem. Number one, I should have let you know beforehand that it was going away. So it fell on me. But number two, what you want me to do? You want me to pick you out a 6 bar? She said, girl, you just pick me out. Just pick me out 6 bars. You know why she said that? And I've heard it once. I've heard it a million times in this business since I've been selling Cincy. Because they trust me. They trust me. And you know what else happens is that a lot of times, I just had another customer who said, I want a fruity 6-pack. I don't even care. Just get me a fruity 6-pack. So I did. And I put a little note because I do a lot of porch deliveries because a lot of the people I deliver to are work during the day. And so I put a little note, here's your 6-pack. If there's any that, you take a whiff and you don't like, let me know. We'll switch it out. We're going to make it right. We're going to make you happy with the 6-pack. I've never had anyone come back and say, I don't like the 6 that you picked me. Not once has that ever happened to me. Not exaggerating. So people buy and shop with those that they trust. I can tell you a little example. My only daughter, she lives in Utah. Her husband graduates this month from college, and hopefully by fall, they will be living here in Texas with us. In the meantime, she sends us houses to maybe go check out, properties to look at, things like that. The first person that came to my mind was my friend Vicky. I know there's a lot of realtors, and this is not a knock on any other realtor. Let me be very clear. But she was the first one that came to mind. Okay. And, to me, that was just like a little reminder. Like, I went with her because I know I trust her. I've known her forever. I see that she works her business regularly. She's all in. She's always working and showcasing. And so when I needed to go look at some homes, she's the first person I reached out to and said, I need to look at homes. And it's because I trust her. And I hope, and I'm sure that you have experienced this when people are looking for Cincy. I am so flattered when other people who are my customers or maybe people who've never even purchased from me, but they will tag me in a post and who might be looking for a Cincy consultant. That is because they trust and know you're serious about your business. So let's remember that, okay? So people shop with us because they trust us. They want to know that you're going to respond pretty quickly, right? How you make them feel, and follow up. And so I'm going to touch a little bit on a few of these things. I want people to know that I'm passionate about this. And let me I gotta share a little story really, really quick. I try not to get on a tangent here. Our family went on a ski trip in February. My daughter-in-law we got there on, I can't remember what day. Anyway, she broke her leg in the middle of the trip. Coming down the mountain, she broke her leg. And I mean, they had to take her off the mountain. They had to take her a town over. She broke her leg in 3 places, had to have a metal rod put in, and had to have surgery before we could drive back home. Like it was a big injury. Mind you, she has a 7-month-old and a 5-year-old. It's been very, very, as scary as all that sounds, and it was, it brought our family closer than ever. We've all just rallied the troops, and we've been there to help them go through all these changes and all the help that they need. And I say that because the first thing I did was the very next email I sent to my customers, I explained my family situation. Hey, if I'm late on a text or a message, or if I haven't responded to an email, or maybe I haven't picked up my phone, here's why. Here's what's going on in my family. I'm still very much actively working my business. But if I don't respond as quickly as I normally do, here could be the reason why. And I will get to you by such and such time. And I think setting that tone really helped a lot these last 2 months, because people are patient and they're like, oh, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. Just whenever it comes in, whenever you can deliver it. If there's something, there was someone who needed a donation. There's some organization that I donate all the time, and I usually make this really pretty basket for them. And I told them, I said, I have the things I can donate, but unfortunately I don't have the basket or the fixins, to put the basket together. And they were like, don't even worry about it. We'll come get the product and we'll put the basket together for it. We know you have your hands full with your daughter-in-law. And so setting the tone, having communication, making connections with them. So I just say that because sometimes I don't want you to think you have to be on your phone all the time, on your email all the time. Set the tone, maybe you always answer in the evening or a certain time of day or on your lunch break, whatever it may be. Set that tone so that they know that they can rely on you to answer and get back with them. Or if maybe you accidentally, I know I've been guilty of that. I accidentally skip over one, didn't respond to iMessage. I'm so sorry. Somehow I thought I hit send on this. I didn't, I just communicate. I communicate and I'm honest so that they will continue to trust me. How do you make them feel? How do you make your customers feel? Do you make them, hey, Callie, do you make them feel valued? I will never forget, all 4 of my kids have been through braces. Actually, I have been through braces as an adult too, all with the same orthodontist. My oldest is 27 years old, okay? So many years, it was like this joke. It was like, okay, we all did diapers, we all did potty training, we all went through elementary. Then when we got them all through braces, then it was like all driver's license and then graduations. Like it was like these checkpoints for me. But we were at the orthodontist a lot for several years. And I can remember one of the first years going there, that there was a lady who worked there and she loved the scent Love Story. And so I told, she would always purchase that. Then it discontinued. I made sure to let her know. Then obviously fast forward a few years later, Scentsy Club came out, which was so great to be able to share. We know that that is an awesome, awesome perk to our business, is sharing that Scentsy Club. And when Bring Back My Bars came back, and I'll never forget messaging her and telling her, bring back my bars on the next list. And she goes, I don't know how you remember. I was like, honestly, I don't either. I mean, there are some people I have cheat sheets for, but there are some that just stick with me. And I've always remembered that she loves Love Story. Do you know how that makes her feel? And there's other people that I've done that for too. And I know we all have stories like that of people that we just happen to remember their favorite scents. And maybe you have little tricks to doing that. I know there are different people who store their contacts in different ways to remember that. Somehow I'm just kind of good at that. Don't go and quiz me on it because I'll probably fail it as soon as you put me on the spot. But I'm pretty good at remembering a lot of my customers' scents. She says that makes her feel like $1 million that I remember that. I have another customer that she loves everything vanilla, and I love everything vanilla, so that's probably why I remember that she loves everything vanilla. So anytime there's a yummy vanilla scent, I make sure to share it with her, and usually we're nose for nose on that. We match up on everything. She loves that I remember that and that I have new suggestions for her all the time. How do you make them feel? How do you make them feel? This does not mean that you have to do big packages, big deliveries, big fancy to-dos. I have seasons where I'm really on it and my deliveries will look just super cute and spot on. And then there's sometimes they're thrown in a bag. I have a ton of these red bags that I got I think 5 or 6 years ago from, for events and shows for product. There's nothing cute about these bags. They literally are like Walmart bags. They're just plain red, kind of see-through. Nothing cute about them. And a lot of times the orders are just in that. But I tie them really cute. But I always have samples. Always have samples. Sometimes it's a chunk of wax just in a bag with a note. Sometimes it's felt samples. Sometimes it's room spray samples. Whatever it may be. They're not always the prettiest samples, but they're always getting something to sniff new, okay? Another thing that I do is, well, hang on. I got ahead of myself. So how you make them feel. I want them to know that I appreciate them. I always have a follow-up system in place. Always, always. And Cincy Connect really helps us with that, right? We love these features being right at our fingertips. If you use that system, if you use your own system, whatever it be, follow up. Follow up is so important. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, but listen, follow up. It's never too late to follow up. It's never too late to follow up. And I'm going to tell you why in just a minute. So here's a couple of things that I do that I feel like really show appreciation. Like I said, I've been doing this almost 20 years, and I can tell you that a vast majority of my customers have been with me since day one. Like my ride or dies, my people who have shopped with me forever and ever and ever and ever. And they're always referring, and they're always hosting. They're the people that are willing to host a party anytime. That, they're my guinea pigs. Hey, I've got a new party style. Can I try it out with you? Whatever it may be. I've got a I feel really blessed and lucky. And I'm telling you right now, I am not crafty. I don't have cute little bundles. I share all the things that y'all do, all the things that our beautiful Cincy community shares. I do all that. I don't have an original thought in my head, I swear. But I know how to make things mine, right? And I know on what level I can do for mine and my customers. So I don't want you to think it has to be something big and fancy, okay? Just show that it's a personal connection from you. So thank you. Make it personal. Make it personal, whether it's a PWS order, an in-person delivery, an event order, whatever it may be, okay? If it's a PWS order for me, I have a text system set up to thank them. They immediately get a thank you from me with like either a little graphic that I've made on Canva, or it's a picture of me being silly and like, thank you so much, whatever, And that's pretty much all it said. It was, thank you so much for your order. Thank you for choosing me. That's it, okay? Then I do like a 2-week checkup. And that will be like, hopefully by now you've received your order. Obviously my verbiage is different all the time. I change it all the time. But I have, did you receive your order? Do you love it? What's your favorite thing about it? Mind you, I'm not trying to upsell them on anything. I just say thank you. This is just a check-in. Of course, I'll always add my website or whatever. Sometimes I'll throw another little extra message in there that says, hey, if you love this scent, you might love this scent, or maybe a scent recipe idea. I change it all the time. And then my big thing that I do, I say it's big. It's a big deal for me because if I do this, then I'm on my game, is my monthly mail, my monthly mailers. And I used to have this like spreadsheet where I checked off how often they ordered and whether they would keep receiving my mail, all that. That's not my system anymore because that was just too much for me, okay? What I do now is I do subscribe to the Scent Warmer of the Month, the monthly edit, the whole thing going on right now, the whole new verbiage that I still haven't figured all out. So bear with me if I share any information wrong on the verbiage. But my goal every single month is to make sure every single sticker from the Warmer of the Month that we subscribe to, that none of those are left over. So that's every single mail. Every single mail will get that, every mailer. For a while, for a good, year or two, Heather Gorsuch made these beautiful newsletters that she shared. I think she's even touched on this, that the monthly edit now, that brochure is gorgeous. That's enough. That's enough. And there's people who shared mailers too in different pages. So I will make sure that I use all the ones that I purchase, and then I usually have to print off a few more to finish using up the stickers. Okay, that's what my mail. This time I added 2 extra felt samples, and I should have had these on hand. Sorry, forgive me. They're super simple, like, and that's it. I don't even put my name on them because everything else, that's so they got the monthly edit, they got the rub and smell stickers, and then they got 2 extra ones to smell. Now, if I was really on my game, I would keep it in the theme of whatever is on the monthly edit, but I wasn't on it. Now they have the rub and smell stickers that we can get and use ahead of time, but this is just what I did, okay? So I like to include that in there. So if you do any kind of mail like that, then I'm able to text them and say, did you get your happy mail this month? What did you think of the samples in there? Again, I'm not asking them for an order. I'm not asking for anything in there. I'm just asking, did you get your mail and what did you think? Just having a conversation with them. Let's see my notes. One of my favorite things, if you've ever talked to me very long, because this is what I'm passionate about, is customer care. I like taking care of my customers. I like including samples, happy mail. I mean, who doesn't love to get mail that isn't a bill? So I love to do happy mail. I love it. And again, it's very simple. Everything is one stamp. Like, I don't put anything in there that I have to add anymore. I didn't personally mail out catalogs. That's just not what I haven't done that in a few years. So I am still making it really special for them. And I have people talk about it all the time. People are like, I love getting your mail. It makes me so happy. I can smell it in the mailbox before I get there. It's so much better than receiving a bill, yada, 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 right? One of my favorite quotes from, if you've ever seen the movie Robots, Mr. Big Weld was the big guy and who had all the ideas and had the big company in town. And his thing was see a need, fill a need. And I think that's another very vital part of our business, is seeing what how we can fill a need for our customers. Do they have a remodel where they might want to upgrade their warmers? Or maybe they want to host a party so they can show off their remodel. Maybe they need a gift. Maybe they need a fundraiser, whatever it may be. Pay attention to what your customers and your news feeds are saying in their conversations that they're having with you. Because we have so many things coming out all the time. Cincy's amazing, giving us so much to share with our customers. So see a need, fill a need. Look for ways that Cincy can fill a need in their life, okay? Another thing that I do, I will say, I need to be better about it, because I'll go through really good spurts and then I get distracted and forget. But emailing and texting, whatever that may look like for you. And I'm specifically referring to when we have like LTO launches. I kind of forget until I'm in the middle of it. I'll be like, oh my gosh, there was a launch of this and I didn't even let my customers know. So I'm trying to be better about that. But it is a weakness of this. I put that on here because it's something I need to work on. I'm really bad about remembering after the fact. And if people buy Disney from you or Harry Potter or insert whatever collection here, make sure to make a note of that in your tags, in your contact situation, because when that comes out, when they have a new product that comes out from there, you'll be able to have an automatic follow-up with a customer. There was a customer that bought from me. I used to do several events, fairs and shows, whatever you want to call them. I used to do several when my kids were younger. And I think it was an escape. It was like my mommy's night out if I went and did an event somewhere, you know. Now that my kids are older, I want to go be with them. So I don't do as many events as I used to do. But there's one that I won't miss every year. And there's a lady who's been shopping with me forever. But I want to think about 5 or 6 years went by where I didn't see her. So when she came by this year, and I told her, I said, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in so many years. She said, how do you remember? I don't know how I remember. I just do. I also remembered that she loved grape granita. And guess what? I happen to have 2 random bars of grape granita. I don't even remember where I got them or how I had them. And she just thought that was the coolest thing. Now, here's the kicker. She did not have a card with her. She's older. She doesn't have like Venmo and PayPal and like still writes checks. I have a few customers who still write checks, and she doesn't even live locally anymore. So she said, oh my gosh, I can't take these. I don't have any money to pay you today. And I said, take the bars. It was 2 bars. She mailed me a check in the mail with a handwritten note about how much that scent meant to her, for thinking of her, for remembering her. It's 2 bars of wax. It's not going to break my bank. It's not going to break the annual sales grow, put me over the edge or anything. It's not going to be this major big thing, but it was for her. And for me, that fills my cup more than anything. That fills my cup when people like, oh my gosh, you remembered that I love this? Yes, I do remember that. I genuinely love that. But her little handwritten note, folded up, wrapped around her check that she sent to me in the mail, like, that was the sweetest thing ever. And I have a handful of those that still want to write their checks, and I almost always have a little note from them, because like I said, we do some porch pickups around here. So that was something that really made me think, I could have said, oh no, I can't send these with you. You don't have any money. But I just thought, it's 2 bars. If it brings her joy, if I get the money, great. If I don't, well, I did. And I think that made me happy just as much as it made her happy. I use their name. When I text them, I call them by name, remembering the details, scents that they like, or maybe you remember. I know something I need to remember to be better about is educating on fragrance flowers. I'm so bad about, like, I'll give them like the little wood slice and I tell them all about how don't let it touch things around it, but I forget to tell them somehow that it's not just a refill. You do the whole system all over again. You don't just add more oil to it, right? And so a lot of times I'll be somewhere and be like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to educate you on these. What am I doing? Let me bring one and set you up and remind you how all this works so that we can keep you on a good rotation. I have a couple of beauty shops, my sister-in-law being one of them, that I'll just go and switch them out for her. That's my job. I go and take care of her and make sure that her spaces are smelling their best. So use their names. Remember the scents that they like. It doesn't always have to be Scentsy related. Most of the time it's not Scentsy related. I know what's going on with their kids. I know if their daughter made cheerleader. I know if they're going on vacation. Connections matter. They matter. Friendships. There's so many jobs I've worked in my life, if I'm being honest. I worked at Cavender's Boot City when I was in high school. I worked as a bank teller when I first got married. And then I did in-home daycare. And then sometimes worked part-time at a tanning salon. I cleaned a few houses. I have not worked like majorly in the community or anything, right? But I know my people. And I know my people through Scentsy. And I don't ever want to take that for granted. Okay. So it's kind of funny. And I've shared the story a lot. My husband grew up in this town. He just turned 51. This is where he's always lived. I grew up a couple of towns over, but I've lived here for almost 30 years. Okay. And forever and ever, it was always like, which Pilcher boy are you married to? Because there's quite a few Pilchers. Anyways. And I'll never forget when my husband came home one day. He goes, well, it happened. They asked me if I was the one married to the Scentsy lady. I have arrived, guys. That was the best feeling ever. And here's what's funny is all 4 of my kids, I told you they're all adults. And it's really weird when they are like you don't have these little kids running around, because when they're in elementary and intermediate and even junior high, I'm all over the place. I remember at one time I had 4 kids, 1 on each campus, and I was never home. I was at every function of every little thing, every little band concert, every PTO, every parents' night, you name it, every football game, I was in it. And then all of a sudden one day that stops and you're not out in the public as much. And you realize you only knew all these people because you're dang kids. and I'm grateful for it. But it also has taught me a big valid lesson of still getting out in the community and knowing people and having conversations and just being a part of your community, knowing them, knowing what's going on in their lives, and just sharing what you have. See a need, feel a need. It's my favorite, guys. Don't wait for big sales to reach out. Okay, we love a big sale, or we love a good deal, big LTO, whatever. We love these. Don't wait to communicate with your customers just then. Again, we have an amazing community that's always sharing bundles and flyers and Canva links. I am so grateful for all of you who do that. I would be lost without you, can I just say? And so I'm so grateful. But make sure that if you use these things, don't just copy and paste. Make sure to tweak it a little bit and customize it. You want to stay authentic and you want to make it your own. You don't want to look like copy and paste. You want to be like, this is a great flyer or this is a great image that's being shared, but put your own verbiage with it. Make sure that people know it sounds like you. They're going to know if it doesn't sound like you. If there's verbiage in there that you don't use, they're going to know. Also, don't just ghost people. Don't just give them their order and be like, it's nice seeing you. Follow up with them. Going quiet is not good. Now, if you're like, well, it's been 3 months and I forgot to follow up now. Follow up right now. Someone brought a warmer from you 3 months ago. Somebody bought a scent circle from you 4 months ago. Somebody brought whatever, insert whatever. Follow up with them. Follow up with them. Say, oh my gosh, time has gotten away from me and I just realized I never checked back in with you. You must be overdue for some fragrance refresh. Admitting you're human makes you relatable. You're not always going to be on your game. There are some who are always on their game. They got it all together. I've never been someone who's had it all together, and I never will be. But thankfully in this community, we can rely on each other. We have all these great images and great graphics, and we know that people even share their verbiage or ChatGPT, that even that gets a little, I can tell when people use ChatGPT. And if your post is like several paragraphs long, I'm one of those. Sorry, I'm not saying I'm the majority, but I'm not going to, I don't read those long posts. Very rarely do I. Don't take offense to that. I'm just telling you that's how my little simple brain works, okay? Admitting you're human and saying, life got busy. I need to follow up with you. I'm so grateful for your business. Is there anything I can do for you? There's nothing wrong with that. It makes you relatable and real. Tell them what's going on in your life if you feel comfortable. Ask what's going on theirs. Doesn't always have to be Cincy, 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 Cincy. We love Cincy. Cincy is why we're here. We love it. It brings us joy. Y'all, I have to just say, my granddaughter is 5. My oldest granddaughter is 5. And now hearing her talk about Cincy, she'll say, Mamie, what are you doing? And I was like, oh, I'm just working. Oh, you're doing Cincy. Are you kidding me? Just hearing her say that and let her know it. Her daddy was only 7 when I joined Cincy. Seeing it come into my next generation is why I choose this. Sometimes I am super busy and have very little time left in the day to work my business. But I'm telling you, when I do, it's all in and it's real and it's authentic and it's true to me. Let me read through this. Customer care, good customer care, let me say, is what turns a one-time order into a long-time relationship. And I'm sure many of you could have share story after story of someone that you met maybe at your first party or your first event or whatever it may be. One of your very first orders, maybe in the first year of your business, and they're still ordering with you, or you're friends with them, or they've joined your team. I know that we have these amazing stories to tell. And that's another reason I just love Cincy, because we know that scent tells stories. I told my husband just yesterday, actually, I said, oh my gosh, okay. He has an office that's a mile down the road. It's a whole nother story. I can't even go into it, but it's a really It's full of pinball machines and arcade machines, and there's just a whole story behind it, but I don't have time for it. But one of his most favorite scents is dark harbor. Yes, it's in club. It's everything, okay? And he also mixes weathered leather with almost anything. And if you've never tried weathered leather alone, if you have, you may be like, you mix it with just about anything, and it's the best. My favorite is to mix it with Amazon Rain. Okay, sorry. But he has Dark Harbor. And now I cannot smell Dark Harbor and not think of his office, his building, his playhouse, his man cave, his whatever. But I happened to have a bar of it here, and so I put it in our bathroom, and I was like, oh my gosh, our room smells like your office. And he's like, wait, is that a good thing? I said, it smells like Dark Harbor. Like now I will never smell Dark Harbor and not think of his office now. You know what I mean? Like Lux Vanilla is me and my girls. It's our signature scent. Lux Vanilla, they all love it. We have it everywhere. It's everything to us, Lux Vanilla. I just think that's so fun that when a scent that you didn't know before Scentsy then becomes a story. When Vanilla Walnut came back and bring back my bar a couple of years ago, I don't remember when, like 2 years ago, I never forget. I could think of about 6 customers off the top of my head, and I messaged them all and was like, guess what's back? And they were like, how do you remember? I was like, because I remember. Y'all like were on me all the time about having that Vanilla Walnut. I have another customer that I can tell you, I don't think of anyone else but her when I see the scent Be Fabulous. I have some bars of it for her because I think of her immediately. And I think that's so fun when our businesses become part of someone else's stories. And I know we see them all the time where someone loved this particular scent or that particular buddy or whatever it may be, and it's become part of their lives too, their signature scents, their memories. I love being a part of that, and I love hearing what that does for them, because for me, scent is a big deal. Scent and music. Scent and music. A song can transport me in time like that. So can a scent. And I don't even have the words. I don't even really have the words, okay? But it is everything to me. It is everything about this business. I am grateful that I was able to share with y'all tonight. I just wanted to go over it one more time. That good customer care is what turns a one-time order into a long-term relationship. Make sure you have good customer care with connection and consistency. Make sure they trust you. Respond quickly. How do you make them feel? And make sure you follow up. I have a follow-up system in place for a thank you and follow up like 2 weeks later, and then like a month later I have another one, and then I have like a 60-day one where it's just like a quote. I very rarely in my follow-up messages am I trying to sell them on something else. I always include my website and a graphic, a pretty picture, but I'm not trying to be like, buy from me. When I am on top of my email game, I have more promotions, if you will. But my follow-up is really about keeping that connection with them. Because not too long ago, I shared, I think it was in February, I was sharing a join message to some customers. And like 3 of them said, well, I want to know more. So we had this conversation more and more and back and forth. And then they were like, oh, I just love you so much, but I don't think I want to join right now. It's like, you don't have to. I hope that you can trust me enough to know that I still want to be your Scentsy lady. And it's okay if you want to tell me no. That's another thing. When people are smelling scents at a party or at an event, I always say this, and they almost always, I was like, you're not going to hurt my feelings if you don't like all the scents. I don't like all of our scents. That would be crazy if you loved every single one of these scents. That's amazing if you do. You have a really interesting nose if you do. But that's just showing we're relatable and real. But don't count out weathered leather. If you have not tried weathered leather, I'm challenging you to mix it with Amazon Rain. It smells so good. It smells so good. Or mix it with Mystery Man. I could go on and on. But I love y'all. Thanks for letting me ramble with y'all tonight. I hope I had something that added value to your life tonight, to your Scentsy life. Remember, connections don't always have to be Scentsy. They can be just friendships and remembering the little things in their lives. And that's what I have for y'all tonight. Y'all have a good night, and let's make April amazing.